Welcome back to Goan Law for the Layman. In the last video, we discussed intestate succession, that is, the manner in which your properties will go to your survivors if you die without leaving behind a will. Now, this is an arrangement that the Goan Law makes for the distribution of your properties, but you don't have to stick to this arrangement. You can change this arrangement by making a will. So, today we're going to discuss how wills are made in the state of Goa and what are the different types of wills. And we are going to do something interesting today. Towards the end of this video, I'm going to show you how exactly secret wills are made and how its contents are kept a secret till the very end. So let's get right down to it. You see, unlike the rest of India, in the state of Goa, wills have to be compulsorily registered before the registrar. So the wills have to be executed before the registrar in the presence of witnesses and by following the procedure which is prescribed by law. So unless this procedure is followed, always remember your will would not have any legal effects. Now we come down to types of wills. Broadly speaking, there are two types of wills in the state of Goa. The first one is an open or a public will, and the second one is a closed or a secret will. Now, how do you do an open public will? Basically, you go before the registrar along with two witnesses. The registrar will confirm your identity and so will the witnesses, and thereafter your will would be taken down. The registrar will read out the contents of the will to you. After you confirm it, he will take down the signatures of all the persons present. He will note down the time, the date and the place when the will is made, and then finally put his own signature and put his seal. That is the entire concept of an open will. This becomes a public record. That means that it is accessible to the general public and everybody knows what you have left behind and to whom. So what is a closed will and how do you make it? So a closed will is a will that you make without disclosing its contents to the public. So you can draw up a will, go to the registrar by following the same procedure, that is along with two witnesses. The registrar will check the basic tenor of the will without going through its contents, and then he'll make an endorsement towards the end of the will that the will has been executed by the person in his full senses and without any pressure and in accordance with law, and that he has signed the will on each and every page. Then this will would be sealed in a cover in the presence of two witnesses. And after sealing it, the registrar will then mention the name of the person whose will it is on the external side of the cover. So now this cover would be sealed with a wax seal and this cannot be tampered with. And then after sealing this will, the registrar will draw up a document called as an act of approval or a record of approval, in which he will mention the identity of the person making the will, the identity of the two witnesses, and the same contents that we had discussed earlier as far as open wills are concerned. So the registrar will only maintain a record of the procedural formalities and compliances and not the contents of the will. After having done that, the registrar will then hand over the original will in the sealed cover back to the person who is making the will. And the person who makes the will can either hold on to the will for himself throughout his life, or he can entrust it to another person, or he has the option to deposit this will with the registrar himself. The wax seal on the cover has a very special purpose. If the wax is intact, it means that the will is intact. If the wax has been tampered with, then it would mean that the will has been tampered with. And any person who is guilty of tampering with the wax seal, he is liable to lose his share in the inheritance and to be criminally prosecuted. So that was the concept of open and closed wills. Now let us see how a closed will is wax sealed. So now let us carry out that little exercise that I had promised you guys. So once this entire will is made and after all the procedural formalities are followed, it has to be sealed, right? So let us see how exactly a closed will is wax sealed. So let us assume this is your will and let us take an envelope. There it is. And we are going to So after this will is entirely signed and all the procedure formalities are followed, we are going to put this will in the envelope, and we're going to take a little sealing wax and we're going to heat it up and melt it. So now as you can see, the sealing wax is fully melted and it is ready for use, and we can use it to seal the flap of this envelope. I'm going to pour this nicely and try to make a nice circle, and take a coin and seal it. And there we go. This is now your closed will. So that will be all for today. To stay in the loop, click on the subscribe button below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.